Hello everybody, welcome back to our brand new episode of F123 Driver Career Mode. Hope you're all having a great day. We got some huge upgrades on the way coming here into Baku. Look at the upgrades coming through. We just had 4 successful ones, make that 5 to kick off the weekend. Potentially a 6th in just a few moments as you see us going through some marketing stuff there. And sure enough, a 6th upgrade successful coming into this Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. Fresh off of our first points finish in Formula 1 last episode in the Australian Grand Prix. It rained all race long, but we actually performed really well. After 2 back-to-back 16th place results, we got P7 in Melbourne. Pretty happy with that. You know what I'm not happy about though? As I'm currently recording this video, I have no internet due to vandalism that caused a fiber line to get cut, and it has taken out not only my internet but a lot of houses in the general area. So that's pretty cool. However, what's not cool about that is you're not going to see any flight simulator for this episode, but we should hopefully still have some AI voices now throughout this video. But yeah, that's cool. Here we are though in Baku doing free practice one, and I really struggled to get up to grips with this track and with this car as I ended up head on into the barrier. Somehow we didn't kill the car, so I did get to go out again and make a second attempt. This was now the race strategy program that I was doing, but Baku, you really got to drive differently in this game now. It feels a lot more treacherous, but if you just be patient, it's really not that hard, but the braking zones feel quite different in quite a few corners at this track, and well, yeah, I did this.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, I was struggling to really kind of get acclimated with this Baku circuit here in F123, so we end free practice 1. Actually, our lap time was P4, and if you paid attention to the Delta, we were setting really good lap times before I went head-on into the barrier now as we would focus in on qualifying.
Let's pay attention to Owen today, guys. He had that big shunt in practice. He showed some vulnerability for the first time. Let's see if he can make it through Q1.
Thanks, Ted, and there you see him talking there. Let's get to it then.
Ready for qualifying. We waste no time. We're out on circuit here, still trying to get used to the track, and you're gonna see immediately, yeah, you can't do that on strict corner cutting. I invalidated my lap time. It was already over, so we are already focused in on the last attempt here in Q1. We were dead last. Yuki P17 looking like the AlphaTauri might be struggling a little bit. Now I went out on the same set of tires. I was confident that I could set a quicker lap on the same set of tires, or at least maybe have a shot to advance to Q2, but look at the Delta. Oh my goodness, it is dropping like a rock here now as I do not invalidate my lap time this time. Now that Delta is not very much relevant right now because our lap time got deleted, so it's really on the left side time that we're actually paying attention to here now, as this looks like so far it might not be enough to make it into Q2, and it might be a very quick qualifying effort. We're 4/10 out of Q2 currently as we head down this front straightaway. We do have the sprint to of course make up more positions to the line. It's not enough. P16 is exactly where we go here in Baku. We beat our teammate of Yuki Tsunoda at least, but by like a 1/10 of a second, just over a 1/10 of a second really, between myself, Hulkenberg, and Tsunoda. Lance Stroll, I don't know what's going on with him and Aston Martin, but the struggles continue. Logan Sargent at the bottom of the grid. Unfortunately, an early exit. It was quick qualifying. We're gonna head to the grid here and get ready for the sprint.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend.
Gary, it's not been a good weekend for you so far. Do you think you can turn it around today?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, the car is okay. Team's brought a good piece of machinery here, but I've been a terrible driver all weekend long, so we'll see what happens on the start, then we'll try to focus in and hopefully make up some ground.
Good luck.
Well, there you hear it. We were quickly talking to Natalie Pinkham before getting on the grid. It's going to be simple, medium tires from start to finish. Let's get ready.
Here we go then. The formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
All right, team, I just want to start off saying thank you for the hard work and preparing the car going into qualifying. I mean, it's not been a good weekend. It's been all on me, and I'm just going to do my best to make it up for you guys today.
Get after it, mate. Don't even think about the last couple days.
Alright then, we are ready to go racing here for the first race of the weekend here with the F1 Sprint. The first of, 6 sprint races on this season. I still think that's too many sprints, but nonetheless, focusing in on the actual sprint. Here we go, 5 red lights right behind Oscar Piastri. We're lights out, we're underway from the sprint, and you can see a slow start up ahead. That's PEREZ GASLY, who's nearly stopped on the track as we head down into turn 1. You saw a couple of Ferraris up front as well here, and you can see immediately it's Charles Leclerc out in front over Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, then Perez, Hamilton, Russell to follow now, as we're going to wait and see how this works out. Ferrari has had a bit of a tendency to be really strong early in the Grand Prix, which also makes them really good in qualifying, but we get to a certain amount of laps into a Grand Prix, and it seems like the switch gets flipped on the wall, basically. You know, when you're flipping a light switch, basically, that's what happens here, and it's just the Red Bull turns on, and it just becomes unbeatable, and I would say there's probably enough laps for that to happen here today in the sprint race, but nonetheless, focusing in, I had an absolutely flyer of a start thanks to PEREZ GASLY holding up a couple cars and whatnot, and down into turn 1, so we were able to capitalize pretty well, and as well, we got past Haas, we got past Valtteri Bottas, we're up into P13, so gaining 3 positions on this opening lap of what is only a 9-lap sprint race. It is pretty quick here in Baku, however, you know, laps in Baku, of course, over a minute and a half in length here, as you can see myself closing in on the back of Alex Albon. A good qualifying effort for Albon as well in the Williams. Now, as you can see, him attacking Zhou Guan Yu, and with myself coming into the party as well with the DRS. Look at the DRS difference here in Baku as we head down towards turn 1, but we missed the braking zone into the first turn, and the poor performance this weekend continues, and we have to loop it around and rejoin the circuit there right in front of Logan Sargent right there. Of course, he's been having an abysmal season so far, the rookie in the Williams. Now, as I'm not going to leave him a whole lot of room to work with, but I do give him a whole width of car right there to work with now. But Max Verstappen, lap 5, coming to lap 6 of the sprint, turns it up. I said that, you know, that light switch analogy? Well, let's flip now. There goes Red Bull, headed towards the front. Verstappen to the lead. Perez is now putting the attack to Carlos Sainz. A lap later, he goes through up into 3rd place. I don't think he has enough time to run down Charles Leclerc, but still, nonetheless, that Red Bull just gets stronger and stronger as these races go on, and I'm just like, there's no way they are going to be dethroned. We have seen, of course, 3 different winners this season with Verstappen, Perez, as well as Leclerc. Most recently, in last episode, Leclerc qualified on pole for this episode, as Max Verstappen would come through to win the sprint. Unfortunately, I just never went forward after rejoining the track. It was P19, as hold on a second, come to the checkered flag. Piastri's in harvesting mode. I got DRS in, overtake on. We're going to get him at the line, so we get up to P18. Behind our teammate Yuki Tsunoda, but after that little lockup or just sending it into turn 1 and going off circuit, I just didn't have any pace, and it is what it is. We have to focus in on the actual Grand Prix at this point, as you can see the finishing order, so it wasn't very much to show in the sprint. The AI, very calm in this game, almost maybe too calm, and I was really starting to see that come out here in Baku. But now, let's head to Sunday in the Grand Prix.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners, and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes, and hopefully out of the barriers. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers, and it's made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to a catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Albon, Magnussen, Bottas, Joe, Gasly, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Golden Boy, Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
I am hoping for the same, and I'm hoping I'm one of them doing the overtaking now, as we're going to be doing a medium to hard compound tire strategy. Look at the race director. Look how many different strategies we have. McLarens are on hards. We have our teammate of Tsunoda on softs. Many on softs, but several on mediums as well. It's going to be an interesting Grand Prix as we're ready to go for the formation lap.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. Put the last few days behind you here.
Yes, sir. I don't even remember what happened the last couple of days. Let's go get it. Well, we are ready to go racing here in Baku. Hashtag experience Azerbaijan. Nice view right there, actually, as we get ready to head down towards turn 1 with 20 Formula 1 cars, of course, lining up on the grid. It's going to be 5 red lights. Verstappen from pole position now as we're underway here. A slow start for our teammate of Yuki Tsunoda. A terrible start again, just like the sprint race for Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, as I'm going to go up the inside of him now as he is crowded. He was 3 wide in the middle right there. He gets the short end of that stick, but then I'm 3 wide up the inside. Tsunoda gets way better traction on the soft tire. I run into the back of him, actually. Thankfully, don't get any damage out of it. Logan Sargent, the American rookie, right there, side by side with him. And we got 3 rookies, all of the rookies, right at the back here. How about up front? It's PEREZ, actually, to the lead over Verstappen, and Leclerc's going to lunge one up the inside as we head down into turn 3. And there he goes. Now, will he be able to get the traction out of the right-hander? PEREZ has gone from 3rd to 1st in this opening lap, and Leclerc goes around the outside, takes 2nd place from Max Verstappen, who's now under attack from George Russell. He takes the defensive line to cover him off immediately now. Lewis Hamilton just behind that battle as well. Carlos Sainz got a bit of a slow start, so he fell in behind Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, as Alonso's teammate of Stroll continues to struggle here this season now outside of the top 10. Is look at this, Pierre Gasly. Something's going wrong here for this Alpine. He is really struggling on speed. We saw him struggle in Jeddah. We had a battle with him in the last Grand Prix in Australia, but here I am on the front straightaway after being held up behind him for most of the 3rd sector. We are now overtaking him. But not just me, Oscar Piastri is going to follow through as well. Gasly would fall all the way down to last place as Verstappen. This was beginning lap 2, had a lockup into turn 1, and gets overtaken by George Russell now. So down to 4th place he would go. Now this wouldn't last long. Verstappen is going to fight back immediately here as we head down this 2nd straightaway. Here we go to the left side of the circuit. Now Russell is on softs, Verstappen on mediums, Leclerc on mediums, PEREZ on softs as well. So PEREZ, it could be on a 2-stop strategy. Some drivers on the softs are on a 2-stop, some are on a 1-stop now. So Verstappen did not complete the pass there, but I can confirm he would eventually get back past George Russell here. Now, let's look at this fight right here between Yuki Tsunoda and Logan Sargent that I was coming up on now. It was not too hard to run these guys down because they were behind that group of cars in front of them, but now they were scrapping side by side, and here we are right on the back of Tsunoda. He's on those soft tires, of course, and Logan Sargent is well on softs, but we're going to try and split Logan Sargent here 3 wide. He's got 2 AlphaTauris. It's the AlphaTauri sandwich as we head down into turn 3, and I'm going to go past all of them. I went 3 wide around the outside. What a move, and through we go now as they continue to scrap it out behind us, but now up at a P16. Zhou Guanyu there in the Alfa Romeo kick car just in front of us. Nico Hulkenberg for Haas as well just in front of him in 14th place. A bit of a oversteer moment right there for myself. Unfortunately, Tsunoda, he would actually hang with me after passing Sargent and actually overtake me on the front straightaway, and I didn't want to use a whole lot of battery, so I let him have the position, but I wasn't done yet. Lap 6 coming to 7. Immediately, I'm fighting back on Tsunoda here up the inside, and I was starting to feel like the mediums were starting to kick in now compared to the soft tires, which started out really good. Tsunoda, actually, when I completed that overtake, he got pressured quite hard from Oscar Piastri, but he would stay ahead briefly there. Now, as you can see, yellow flags, actually, as we come through in the second sector, and it's going to be Alex Albon in the Williams. We talked about him having a pretty decent weekend, but unfortunately, it's no longer a decent weekend there. He is going to be out of the Grand Prix. Watch the effect of DRS on Zhou Guanyu, who has no DRS. Unbelievable pace in this game, and I've said it before, the DRS in F1 23, absolutely insane. As you can see, some drivers starting to pit, Lance Stroll being one of them in the Aston Martin, and our teammate of Tsunoda, who started on the soft tires. So Tsunoda pitting on lap 9, as I nearly smashed the barrier there. He is going to be on a 2-stop strategy. He put on another set of softs, so he's going to make a second pit stop and either do mediums or hards. I would expect mediums to be the tire that he is going to put on. Sergio Perez, he pits from the lead. He goes from softs to hards, so he's doing a 1-stop, pits a couple laps later than Tsunoda. Hamilton in on his hard compound tire as well, right there, as you can see, as he is having a decent run here. Now, of course, 1 podium on the season for Lewis Hamilton as my pit window opens now, as we were quite a bit disconnected from the cars in front of us here. As you can see, more pit stops occurring. Verstappen, Leclerc, they pit on the same lap from the medium compound, but Perez is already long gone down through turn 1, so good luck beating him today here in Baku now, as he's going to have a very comfortable gap to work with. You see myself coming in now. Oscar Piastri was following me nearly into the pit lane, although he's on the hards there, so he's staying out a little bit longer than myself here now. Now, watch this. Look at the track map. Yuki Tsunoda, he's already passed me. So he made up a whole pit stop just about on the second set of soft tires. However, the difference is we only make 1 stop in this race right here for the hards. Tsunoda has to pit again. That's where the trade-off is going to be. So we're going to make up some time on him while he tries to, of course, make up another pit stop after the fact that he makes the second one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works. We had some more battles happening. This is George Russell going for the overtake on Lewis Hamilton after he got passed from Verstappen. He continued to fall a little bit here, but now here he is scrapping it out with his British teammate. The 2 British drivers, of course, for Mercedes going at it side by side, but Russell, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt here. He goes up into 4th place. Hamilton down to 5th. Norris right there on the back of that battle. He still has to come into the pits as he is on that hard compound tire. Zhou Guanyu settling in behind myself here as we run P17. We were slowly moving our way back forward as the pit cycle was starting to take place. I was thinking we might actually cycle through to about 12th, 13th, 14th area now as our teammate of Yuki Tsunoda is in for his second stop. Stroll as well is on a 2-stop strategy, and so is Pierre Gasly, who's been non-existent. But now it's time to go through the grid as Sergio Perez is in currently 1st position.
Another example of Sergio Perez street circuit dominance today, Martin.
Extraordinary performance and a great strategy for him makes him near unbeatable here. I know it's early in the season, but he almost seems on form to fight Max for the title this year.
How about Alpine? Once again, we see Ocon outperforming Gasly by a long shot. Down in 19th currently is Gasly.
Don't hit the panic button yet, Crofty. We saw Pierre run well in Australia. I'd wait a few more GPs yet before being concerned. However, his starts this weekend were awful.
What you got for us, Ted?
Hey, yeah, just to touch on Gasly, Alpine haven't seen a problem with the car. So they really have no idea why Pierre is so far off today.
2 seconds, Ted. Something's gone on with Norris.
I think he's lost power.
Yes, he has. Norris saying to the team right now there's no power in the car. Oh, what a shame for McLaren.
A shame indeed. Day over for Lando Norris.
Well, there you have through the grid. I would have loved to have like more driver radios, but because of no internet, I really couldn't for this specific video. And I'm hoping this video goes out on Friday, but I don't know when my internet's going to be back because of these vandalists, so we'll have to wait and see. But the battles continue. Max Verstappen, we talk about Red Bull getting better as the race goes on. Here's Verstappen going around the outside of Leclerc in turn 1 to 2nd place he goes. Does he have enough time to run down his teammate of Sergio Perez? I'm going to place the bets on? No. The gap isn't very large, but Perez has just been setting good enough of a pace. How about us? So P12 is where we end up cycling through when all is said and done. A huge moment there into turn 3. I locked up the rear brakes for the first time in a Grand Prix this season and nearly paid the price. I don't know how I kept it off the barrier, but unfortunately, that led to just a really sloppy lap, and here goes now Lance Stroll putting the attack on me after he had run me down, and I let him have the position because I knew I was going to have DRS if I just tucked in behind him. So immediately he gets past me, but I'm going to go wait for the overtake on him, and now we're going back through into 12th place, and thank you very much. Now it's interesting. We're catching Hülkenberg. Magnussen, I got told by Mark that Magnussen had a mechanical issue, so he was dropping down the field as Stroll continues to fight back. So we're running down both the Haas cars, but Lance Stroll has more speed than me. My teammate of Yuki Tsunoda is flying through cars behind us on fresh hards, and Oscar Piastri is faster than me. So we have a chance at points, but at the same time we could end up 15th place because Yuki Tsunoda and Piastri, as you can see, Stroll and Hülkenberg fighting it out, and once again we've seen how powerful the DRS is, and look at the run that we have. It's going to be a 2-for-1 special 3 wide briefly, but the closing rate is so quick. We're 3 wide for like a second, and then we're clear down into turn 1 up into P11. Taking advantage of other people's battles might give us a chance to go for back-to-back points finishes because we have run down Magnussen. Coming to 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix. He has no chance to defend. He's still dealing with a mechanical issue. Lance Stroll right there with me now as he tries to go to the right, but I don't leave him enough room to split us. So here we go, passing Magnussen into the points here in Baku. I did not expect this with the way this weekend has gone, but it's been bare minimum mistakes here in the Grand Prix aside from the rear brakes locking, just a handful of laps ago. Final lap underway here in Baku, and it was Piastri and Stroll battling behind myself, which is perfect case scenario for me. Yuki Tsunoda had flown through the grid here after his final pit stop, but just didn't quite have enough time to get to us. He had slashed the gap in 3/4 basically of the deficit now at this point to myself, but Max Verstappen, unfortunately for him, not enough time to run down Sergio Perez, who's going to come through to get his second win of the season over Verstappen. I believe that will give him the World Drivers' Championship lead. Leclerc on the podium as well. Russell Hamilton behind with Sainz and Alonso for another 7th place run to come now as we head towards the line. Piastri did get in front of Lance Stroll, who still has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but not in the points. But Piastri doesn't have enough. He probably has gone into harvest mode. He has, because there goes Stroll. We get back-to-back points finishes here in our Formula 1 rookie season. Race 3 and Race 4. P10 will take it because I don't think we had a 10th place car. Things just kind of worked out for us. Piastri gets driver of the day. Let's head to the podium celebrations here from Azerbaijan.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Tell me out, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Well, there you have it. So, how about Sergio Perez? A great run, dominant run. He ran from, 3rd to 1st on the start, and that's where it all happened right there. That's where the win came from, was that start, in my opinion. Now, I can't get over Leclerc's mouth in this game. There's something weird about his mouth. It's like really open at times. But yeah, great effort from Perez there. Perez nearly got run down by Verstappen towards the end, but just not enough from Max, and Leclerc just hanging on to a podium. Not really much he could do there, as you see Newey again up on the podium, it looks like, there with the Red Bull boys now, as Leclerc throws some champagne right there at Perez's face. But yeah, we'll check out the finishing order as well as the point standings to see the changes in that. But you can see P10 was pretty happy with that. Yuki Tsunoda went from 17th to 13th in that final run, and only lost to me by 3 seconds. When he came out of the pits for the second time, he was over 10 seconds behind. We're up to 9th, or I guess I should say remain in 9th here, it looks like, in the standings. We were tied with Gasly. Our teammate of Tsunoda still looking for his first point. But yeah, it's going to be hard to go any further than 9th. I can tell you that based off the worst car on the grid that we have. Red Bull at the top of the constructors. Perez in control of that World Drivers' Championship as we head to the United States into the Miami Grand Prix. In the next one, it's going to be a fun one. And I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.